push to make it tougher for some people to get out on bail draws some bipartisan support today, but could be a long time before there's a significant change, and we'll tell you why.
Also, students speak up, walking out of class this morning to support Quadrin Wilson, whose family says he was shot 5 times in the back by police.
And reaching a settlement after one of the most gut-wrenching days in modern history, will share what families of Sandy Hook victims can expect. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. We begin with breaking news. We've just learned a Madison police officer who accidentally shot another officer will soon be back on patrol.
Madison police says its internal investigation found Officer Keith Brown didn't do anything wrong when he shot a fellow officer while arresting a man on State Street in October. The Dane County District Attorney reached the same conclusion late last year. Police say Katwan Richardson pointed a gun at officers while they tried to arrest him on State Street for a probation violation October 10th. That's when Officer Brown fired his gun. The investigation found Richardson's gun also went off during the struggle. His attorney criticized police for a confusing initial description of what happened, making it seem as though Richardson shot an officer. Richardson faces various felonies from that arrest. He is currently free on $10,000 cash bail.
Students at La Follette High School showed their support for Quadrin Wilson today. Wilson was shot during an attempted arrest in East Madison a couple of weeks ago. Today, students held a walkout at the school. During the demonstration, students asked for transparency from law enforcement and justice for Wilson. They also asked for Wilson to be sent back to the hospital to continue his recovery. Right now, Wilson is being held in the Dane County Jail. Meanwhile, Wilson is expected to be in court tomorrow on new drug charges.
Officials with the district attorney's office say Wilson has one drug case filed and another is still under review. Law enforcement officials have shared few details about the events leading up to Wilson's arrest and shooting. 2 agents with the Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation reportedly fired their guns during the incident. Those officers have not yet been identified. Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast. Temperatures will warm up tomorrow.
Meteorologist Chris Reese on the weather patio with the details. Chris?
Temperatures were warm out here today as well, compared to perhaps some other days that we've seen, especially over the weekend. We made it to 35 in Madison, 37 in Janesville, and the reality is we are now just past that warmest part of today. So our temperatures now slid back towards 34. Still 37 in Janesville at the moment, 37 over in Boscobel as well. Temperatures, though, are going to be in a little bit of an odd pattern as we start to move through the rest of tonight. Because yes, we are at 34 right now, but a warm front's getting ready to move our direction. Doppler track quiet as that warm front moves on through. We're going to start focusing, though, on our next storm system that starts to develop over parts of the Rockies. But check this out. As clouds begin to increase later on tonight, temperatures start to warm up into the 40s. And yes, folks, I'm talking about chances for rain as we start to move towards tomorrow afternoon. We're also going to talk about that system that could bring a whole lot or a whole lot of nothing when it comes to snow on Thursday. All that's to come in the first one forecast.
All right, Chris, thank you. About 200 people gathered inside the state capitol today calling on Assembly Speaker Robin Vos to decertify the results of the 2020 election. Republican Representatives Janelle Branchen and Tim Ramthun, who recently announced his bid for governor, headlined the rally. Other election conspiracy theorists also spoke to the crowd. Several at the rally held signs stating Trump won and calling out Vos. Republican leaders and state lawyers have said it is impossible to overturn the election, and they won't. The 2020 election has been audited, reviewed, and upheld over and over again in multiple lawsuits, reviews, and recounts. On a busy day at the state capitol, the Wisconsin Assembly also took its first serious steps towards a constitutional amendment reforming the cash bail system.
Several Democrats signed on to the Republican-driven push. Clearing the Assembly today started in the wake of the Waukesha parade tragedy. Our Naomi Coles is live at the Capitol to explain. Naomi?
This proposed constitutional amendment would allow judges to not just consider a defendant's likelihood to return to court when setting cash bail, it would also let them consider their risk to public safety from violent offenders. Republicans introduced the proposal and overwhelmingly voted for it. So did several Democrats, but most of them said this was not the correct change needed for the system.
We are called to act to change our pretrial release system in Wisconsin, and I'm standing today in favor of changing our system, though I will be voting against AJR 107 because I believe it makes the wrong type of change to fix our pretrial release system.
The system is falling apart because we have record crime and people who are repeat offenders, and the people inside the system who are supposed to protect society are saying that they have no tools other than to let people out on cheap bail. Well, if that's true, this amendment fixes that.
A change to cash bail in Wisconsin requires a change to the Constitution. That, of course, is no easy feat. It takes two different legislatures passing a constitutional amendment in both chambers with an election between those legislatures. Now, once that happens, it would still have to go to voters for the final up or down vote. Of course, it made its first step today. It passed the Assembly. It still has to clear the Senate, and then again, it would still have to clear another legislature. Now, all of this comes on a very busy day in the state capitol, including that rally to overturn the 2020 election. Then also later tonight, we're waiting to hear from the governor in his annual State of the State address. At 6 o'clock, I'll be talking about what to expect.
Naomi, we will see you at 6. Thank you. And you can watch a live stream of the State of the State address on channel3000.com and on our Facebook and YouTube pages. It begins at 7 o'clock tonight. 3 people were hospitalized today after a crash involving a Middleton police officer. The crash happened just before noon at the intersection of Century Avenue and High Road. Middleton police say 2 officers and the driver of the other vehicle involved in the crash were hospitalized. Their conditions are unknown. Madison police are investigating the death of a 9-month-old last month as a possible case of child neglect. A search warrant states a woman may have left her baby alone in an apartment with a 9-year-old for a considerable amount of time on January 31st. The child told investigators she had placed the baby on the floor while she went to get a glass of water, and when she returned, she said she forgot the baby was on the floor and accidentally stepped on the child's head. The Dane County Medical Examiner says the baby died of blunt force trauma to her head.
Low bail, as you heard, has been a major talking point after the Waukesha parade tragedy, and today supporters of the bail reform bill held a news conference to push for change. Darrell Brooks facing charges for driving a car through a parade in Waukesha. At the time, he was out on a $1,000 bail for trying to run over the mother of his child. That case now reigniting a years-long fight over bail reform. This proposed change to the state constitution would remove restrictions for judges to look at a person's past violent convictions when deciding bail.
This primary election day, Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and other community leaders discussed voter suppression efforts and the recent court ruling on ballot drop boxes. The mayor railed against the Wisconsin Supreme Court decision to allow ballot drop boxes today on the February primary, but not for the upcoming April general election. She calls the move illogical and not based on any evidence. Mayor Rhodes Conway also called on state leaders to pass voting rights legislation.
And I call on Congress to pass voting rights legislation now to address these issues that really are nationwide issues and to help us at the local level fight back against the voter suppression that happens in our state government.
Other activists said that more access to voting locations is better, whether they be with ballot boxes or in manned polling places.
And on this primary election day, Wisconsin voters will whittle down the number of candidates in some area school districts and a few outlying county board seats for the spring election. That'll be in April. There are also 2 mayoral primaries in our area. In Portage, incumbent Rick Dodd facing challenges from Mitchell Craig, the owner of Craig's Popcorn Corner, and Kyle Little, president of the Portage Community Skateboard Park. Dodd has been mayor since 2016. And in Boscobel, 3 candidates are running to fill the seat vacated by retiring Mayor Steve Wetter. We'll have results on Channel 3000 and also on the bottom of your screen once the polls close at 8 p.m. And another big race. Many across the state are watching the race to replace Tom Barrett as the mayor of Milwaukee. A field of 7 candidates will be trimmed to 2. Crime top of mind for each candidate there and for voters, along with securing state funding for the city. Political experts say whoever takes that seat will need to be someone who works well with state leaders. Voter turnout historically lower for a February primary, but we could see a shift in that, given that this is an historic mayoral race. Penny by penny, Madison Center for Black Excellence is getting closer to reality, and it took a big leap today.
$1 million donation from a handful of local leaders will definitely make an impact. Our Brad Hamilton joins us in the studio with the latest. Brad?
Susan and Eric, the group that donated that large sum of money are hoping to spark a large initiative among business leaders within Dane County. The group called the Executives for Black Excellence, and their goal is to eventually raise $3 million. Now, the center would provide a brand new space with a number of different resources located on Madison's south side. But Jim Yelly, who was one of the 10 business leaders to donate this week, says he's excited to recruit others.
We haven't been asked, don't worry, we're going to come and ask you, but we're just starting it right now, really our efforts. But a few individuals, we got together and pulled together that, and now we want to go out and talk to our friends and colleagues in the community and tell them about the center and maybe see if it makes a connection on an individual personal basis.
Dr. Alex G. with the center says they've now raised around $11 million overall. The ultimate goal is to raise $36 million in total. Now, coming up at 6, we're going to hear more from Dr. G about how those fundraising efforts are continuing to grow.
Brad, thank you. President Biden says the U.S. stands prepared to respond if Russia invades Ukraine. Russia claims it is beginning to withdraw some of its forces from along the Ukraine border, but the U.S. says it has yet to see any signs of de-escalation. In fact, a U.S. official tells CBS News Russia has now moved rocket launchers and long-range artillery into firing positions.
Russia attacks the United States or our allies through asymmetric means, like disruptive cyber attacks against our companies or critical infrastructure. We are prepared to respond.
Meanwhile, Ukraine says it has come under a cyber attack on some government agencies, as well as Ukraine's largest bank. It's not clear if Russia is behind the attacks.
Next at 5, the families of some of the victims have reached a settlement with a gun manufacturer nearly a decade after the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. Nikki Batiste has the details.
Today is about what is right and what is wrong.
Families of 9 victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting gathered in Trumbull, Connecticut Tuesday, agreeing to a $73 million settlement with Remington, the maker of a Bushmaster AR-15 style rifle used in the 2012 massacre.
Today is a day of accountability for an industry that has thus far enjoyed operating with immunity and impunity. And for this, I am grateful.
The family sued and spent years in court trying to work around a law protecting gun makers from most civil suits.
We kept hearing it was impossible, an unwinnable case, that firearm manufacturers were immune.
Lawyers centered their case around how the rifle was marketed, alleging the company targeted younger at-risk males with product placement in violent video games and ads like its so-called man card campaign. Remington argued there was no evidence connecting its marketing with the 2012 massacre.
The settlement will be paid out through insurance, and Remington Arms also agreed to make public all the discovery and deposition material.
It allows these families the rights to share the information as to what they learned.
The families hope this leads to greater accountability in the gun manufacturing industry. Now bankrupt Remington has not commented on the settlement. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, Trumbull, Connecticut.
Now, Remington offered a $33 million settlement last summer, but it had only involved 2 of its 4 insurance companies and no documents. Up next at 5, firearms at airports continue to raise safety concerns.
Coming up, how lawmakers hope to make airports safer. And later, the Wisconsin DNR is now accepting warden applications. We'll have details on how you can apply coming up at 6.
Strong gains at Tuesday trading on Wall Street. The Dow surging more than 422 points. The Nasdaq gains almost 349. The S&P up 69, and we'll be right back.
Guys, do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Now there's great news. Peak Performance for Men will help you regain your performance and confidence naturally. Peak Performance for Men uses an advanced form of acoustic wave therapy, clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels, restoring normal and natural functionability where it counts most. There are no needles, no surgery, and best of all, no pain. Call now and receive an ultrasound, your initial consultation, all for free, and over $300 value. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
Trains are coming to Madison, in miniature that is, at the 54th Mad City Model Railroad Show, February 19th and 20th at the Alliant Energy Center. Get caught up in 90,000 square feet of trains, clinics, and exhibits, with almost 300 vendor tables featuring train merchandise, toys, hobby supplies, railroad antiques, collectibles, and much more. Many door prizes and 4 train sets will be given away each day. It's a great entertainment value for the whole family. Saturday and Sunday, February 19th and 20th at the Alliant Energy Center. Save online.
President's Day is the best time to buy furniture, and Slumberland Furniture is having one of their biggest sales of the year. Wow.
Wow is right.
Deals up to 50% off throughout the store. Find a great accent piece, a warm fireplace, an amazing recliner. Incredible deals throughout the store. See why this is one of the best times of the year to buy furniture. The huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture. And for your new mattress, come to Slumberland Sleep Solutions, where we've reinvented mattress shopping.
Just 2 pills for all-day pain relief. Aleve it and see what's possible. And also try Aleve X topical pain relief.
My daughter has type 2 diabetes, and lately, I've seen this change in her.
Once-weekly Trulicity is proven to help lower A1C. It lowers blood sugar from the first dose, and you could lose up to 10 pounds. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Tonight at 6, election integrity advocates rally in the Capitol Rotunda this afternoon. What their message is and who's leading the charge.
Plus, Naomi Coles will have a preview of Governor Evers' State of the State address tonight. That's coming up at 6.
Her love for sled dog racing led her from Alaska's Iditarod to a successful children's book series.
The sled dogs really teach us about life.
Her next chapter, straight out of the movies. Charlotte Deleste visits the Musher Mama, Thursday on News 3 Now at 6. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Last year, TSA officials seized nearly 6,000 firearms at airport checkpoints across the U.S.
An alarmingly high number of those guns were loaded. Natalie Brand has the details.
Disruption and danger at the nation's busiest airport last November when a traveler accidentally discharged a loaded weapon, temporarily causing chaos and panic at Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
The increase in firearm at checkpoints is a function of an individual gun owner's lack of responsibility, be it forgetfulness or a misguided belief that weapons will not be discovered.
Atlanta was at the top of the list of airports nationwide in 2021 where guns were found in carry-on luggage, followed by Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, and Nashville. Of the record-setting nearly 6,000 firearms found at airports nationwide last year, almost 90% were loaded. And it comes as pandemic-era travel in the U.S. has seen a rise in unruly traveler behavior.
It is paramount that the current crisis of assaults does not escalate even further to the point of gun violence.
Lawmakers and witnesses at Tuesday's hearing praised the exceptional work of TSA officers for detecting the firearms, but they also say it takes them away from focusing on other threats.
These investigations shut down the checkpoint lane during the encounter, causing delays as well as creating a very stressful situation for TSA staff and travelers.
Experts testifying recommend more education outreach, including consistent and clear signage, as well as precise communication from airlines to passengers. Some also suggest increasing the penalty for a violation, which currently runs from $1,500 to nearly $14,000. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Airline passengers can travel with a firearm in checked baggage, though they must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided container. Firearms and ammunition must also be declared when checking in at the ticket counter. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate weather now. Meteorologist Chris Reese is on the opposite side of the clock.
This is past his bedtime.
Yeah, hi, Chris.
It is past the bedtime, but you know, I'm always happy to stay up late when we're talking about snow, or at least a lack thereof, that we've had here in Wisconsin. We're going to keep an eye on things, at least for some folks, as we start to move towards the later part of the week. But we're going to be spring-like tomorrow, folks, before some rain starts to move into our picture. That snow system that I've been talking about, that's expected to show up as we move into Thursday, that came ashore today. So the model trends that we begin to see as we go through the rest of tonight and early tomorrow morning are really going to be crucial when it comes to really starting to fine-tune the details for the later part of the week. That system going to be working its way into the Midwest as we go through time. But even still, we're about 36 to 48 hours out, and we're still not seeing model agreement. Folks, we're at the point of time ahead of a storm system where you're typically really just fine-tuning some small details here, but we're really still trying to fine-tune the bigger picture overall. So this is model number 1. It starts us out with some rain that goes over to a mix, but notice it's far enough north that, yes, it brings snowflakes all the way towards parts of Green Bay as you move towards Thursday afternoon and evening. The heaviest snow still just south of that state line, but still it brings snow that far north. That gets out of here as we start to move into parts Friday. This is now model number 2, and watch how it is completely opposite. Some rain as we start to move towards Wednesday. It's so far south that if you live along the state line, you might see a little bit of a flurry. Given the way that the winter has gone, I would err on the side of this one sneaking by towards the south. But you start to look at historical context with this, and southern Wisconsin is honestly a favorable spot to be. But history just this winter tells me that this one likely slides down to the south. 34 degrees right now, our wind chill at 23. We're actually going to watch our temperatures begin to increase. By 11 o'clock, we'll be hanging out right around 37. That's as winds stay out of the south. We're at 38 by the time we cross the threshold into midnight. Tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're still hanging out at 42 at that point. Here comes raindrops into the early afternoon. Here comes the colder air too. Watch winds out of the north and west, and perhaps a chance to see some snowflakes and flurries as we start to move towards Thursday. Model number 2, or model number 3 rather, handling Thursday really keeps things a little bit farther to the south as well. This is the latest update. So this is a new trend that came in less than an hour ago, and it was a little bit farther to the north, but I've seen that sneak a little bit farther to the south. So if you take it verbatim, it gives a couple inches around Racine and Kenosha counties. Elsewhere, things do stay dry on this particular model, but we'll watch it. Some flurries at night on Friday night as well. Saturday, we're going to be in the 20s. More 40s show up moving into Sunday. Perhaps another mix as we start to move towards Tuesday next week. I'll tell you one thing. That system on Tuesday next week looks to be to our north right now. Maybe, just maybe, one trend south into southern Wisconsin.
All right, Chris, thank you. Still to come tonight at 5, the U.S. is suspending avocado imports from Mexico. How that move could impact the supply chain.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Here at TSR, we transform outdated or damaged basement floors into beautiful, functional, tough floors in just one day. Hi, I'm Joey with TSR Concrete Coatings, and we don't just simply coat over your old floor. We repair all the cracks, apply the base coat and chip, and then seal it with our own proprietary sealant that will never chip or peel. Our coatings are ridiculously easy to clean and will not be damaged by spills or standing water. All of our coatings are covered by our exclusive lifetime warranty, so you can rest assured that your beautiful new basement floor coating will last. And from now until March 15th, we're offering 15% off your basement floor coating. This promotion also applies to any interior commercial coating project. Visit the website or call the number below for your new floor today. TSR, one day floor.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-day challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-day challenge.
The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back at the Alliant Energy Center Expo Hall in Madison, February 25th through the 27th. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with new gear. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with awesome seminars. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with hard-to-find boats. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with family activities. Go to wifishingexpo.com for details. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Outdoor News, Don's Marine, Fox Sports 1070 The Game, Lucas Oil, and Explore Lacrosse.
Some numbers are thrilling, some impressive, some just right. After an accident, there's one critical number. The number that helps you get your life back by factoring in your needs for today and tomorrow. That's where Habish and Rotier's numbers really add up. With over 90 years of client successes and 13 offices to help you wherever you are. No other personal injury law firm is better suited to get the amount that's right for you.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The U.S. has stopped all avocado imports from Mexico until further notice.
Elise Preston explains why and how the move could impact the supply chain.
There seems to be plenty of avocados in supermarkets right now, but that could soon change. The U.S. has stopped all imports of Mexican avocados until further notice after an American inspector in Mexico received a threatening message.
If we don't solve this in the next 2-3 weeks, it's going to impact us for a couple of years to come.
The threat to the inspector comes amid escalating drug cartel violence in Michoacan, where nearly 90% of the avocados the U.S. imports are grown.
Avocado prices are already much higher than they were compared to a year ago, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The disruption is raising concern that spike could grow even bigger in the weeks ahead.
I would say an avocado could go up to $5 to $6 a unit.
$5 to $6 for one avocado.
Martha Montoya is the chief executive of Ag Tools. She says it's not just the consumer that will be impacted. Hundreds of millions of dollars will be lost and the environment will be affected.
Everyone in the supply chain were prepared to ship all this amount of avocados, trucks, containers, the processing plants, water, electricity. So all that is carbon footprint that we are going to be wasting.
The U.S. government says the suspension will continue until the safety of all U.S. inspectors in Mexico is assured. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And the president of Mexico says he believes the ban is part of a conspiracy against his country.
A final check of your first warn forecast in just a moment. Stay with us.
Menards has the best and brightest ideas for lighting your home. Explore our lighting showroom and find your style with Patriot Lighting interior lights. Flush mount LED lights are the perfect way to light up hallways, bedrooms, and even closets. Choose an efficient fixture with customizable color temperature or add a touch of elegance. The Leah LED flush mount light is only $89.99 now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
As you remodel, don't toss your cabinets and appliances. Donate to Habitat Restore. Give your items a second life while proceeds build Habitat for Humanity homes. Donate today. Habitat Restore, Dane County.
An iCare benefit card helps our members access even more. This includes a monthly allowance for OTC items and healthy food purchases. Plus, earn more with healthy rewards. Rest easy. iCare is looking out for you and your health.
But Senator Ron Johnson is putting...
You know what's interesting? Liberal groups have already spent $12 million falsely attacking me and engaging in the politics of personal destruction. Their allies in the media have dutifully piled on. Why? Because they can't defend the disastrous results of their policies. During this campaign, I intend to discuss issues that impact your life. I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message because I'm concerned about inflation, open borders, and rising crime, just like you.
I want to have $1 million when I retire.
Oh, great goal.
So where do I start?
Well, first you set up automatic transfers into savings. That can add up pretty quickly.
For me, working on putting $1,000 into an emergency fund got me in a good saving habit.
Already on it.
Then put together a plan to get rid of debt and maximize your investments. You know, Summit helped me do.
Oh, that's great. I love how Summit gives people the knowledge and confidence to go after their goals. It's your money. Own it. Summit Credit Union.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
The Burrish Group at UBS provides comprehensive wealth management focused on client service, financial results, and helping clients pursue their goals. Our multi-generational group of financial advisors allows us to relate to all of our clients. Every generation has priorities, and with our experience, we can find the fit that suits your cycle of life. Call us today to start the conversation.
Let's go back to Chris Reese. Final check of the forecast.
All right, things are going to start warming up overnight tonight, all the way towards 45 tomorrow. Now, your high of 45, I do want to tell you, happens around midday. Once we move into the rest of the afternoon and evening and to about this point tomorrow night, temperatures are going to be into the 30s and falling. And so that's where those raindrops start to mix with a little bit of some sleet, maybe a few snowflakes as well. Thursday, most of that snow is going to be to our southeast.
All right, Chris, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.